My Zeta lived in Miami Beach, Florida. And he had a canal behind his house where he would, when we would go visit him, take us to go fishing. Hi, everybody. This is Reuven Spolter from Kitah. And I want to share with you a thought about blessings for our children and fish. So when he would take us back to this canal behind his house, we never once caught a single fish. But we would go fishing. We would have the fishing rod and the hooks and everything. And he would say, "You like fish?" And we would say, "Yeah, Zeta." He said, "You love fish?" He said, "Yeah, Zeta, we love fish." He said, "You know what the fish say?" "No, Zeta, what do the fish say?" "The fish say, if you like me, leave me alone." And he was trying to convey to us an important message about what we like and what we love and how we treat the things that we like. But even more than that, Zeta never called us fish or thought of us as fish. Because if he would have called us fish, we would have been a little bit insulted. If we think about fish and the image that they conjure up in our minds, they're not technically that positive. Fish are a little smelly. There are other media, movies associated with fish that we don't want to think about. So that makes the Yaakov Avinu's bracha, the blessing of Yaakov that he gave to Yosef and his children, all the more curious and all the more interesting. Let's take a look at one very, very famous pasuk in this week's Parsha. Here we are, Breshit Perek Memchet, pasuk Tet Zayin, chapter 48, verse 16. And we know that among the blessings, Yaakov gave blessings to Yosef's children. And then he said the following. We have a lot of songs about it too. Hamalach hagoel oti mikora, the angel that redeems me from all evil. Yivarech et hane'arim, he should bless the youths. V'yikarei behem shemi v'shem avotai, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yitzchak. And they should call by my name and the name of my forefathers, Avraham and Yitzchak. V'yidgu larov b'kerev haaretz. And we're going to focus on this phrase, v'yidgu larov, and they should multiply larov greatly, b'kerev haaretz, among the land. So very nice, beautiful lesson. Amalach Hagorel is a very famous song. There's a lot of beautiful tunes. But when we look at the words that Yaakov chooses, what he means, they should multiply and they should be plentiful and fruitful. But he doesn't say that. He says v'yidgu. If you look at the word carefully, inside the word v'yidgu is the word dag. That's the word for fish. And they should be yidgu larov. So we think usually fish multiply. Fish spawn, they produce. So they should be multiplied. They should be multiplied in the land. They should be great and many. But why did then Yaakov say v'yirbu larov? They should be many from harbe. I'll just show you that word. Why didn't he just say v'yirbu from harbe? He didn't say that. He said v'yidgu. So when we see that, we know there must be a message in the choice of the words. Says Rashi. Rashi says the following. V'yidgu, and Rashi is based on a Midrash in Breshit Rabbah. Kadagim halalu, like those fish. Sheparim v'ravim, they are fruitful and multiply. So they should be many like the fish. And fish is a symbol of fertility. Ve'ein ayin hara sholetet behem. And there's also another thing that since the fish are under the water, the ayin hara, the evil eye, can't get into the water and it doesn't rule over them. So that's one Midrash. But I wanted to show you another Midrash and then share with you a final thought. Another Midrash says the following. The Midrash also in Breshit Rabbah says the following. Why does Yaakov compare the children to fish? Ma dagim halalu gdelim b'mayim. The fish that grow in the water, kevin sheyoredet tipa achat milamala. When they get one drop of water, if they're out of the water, mekablim ota b'tzimaon. They're thirsty. Like they never tasted water in their days ever. Fish need water to live. So too are the children of Israel. They grow in the water of the Torah. So this is something that's really valuable to know, important to know. In the Midrash, in the eyes of the rabbis, water the mashal is connected to Torah. Torah is the spring of life. Torah is the spring that gives all of us sustenance and spirituality and meaning in our lives. Water is like life. And so too, Kevan, your children, Shomim Devar Chadash Minat Torah, when they hear something new in Torah, Hemekablim Otam B'tzimaon, they accept it with thirst, as if they never heard a Devar Torah in their days. So Yaakov is saying, so says the Midrash, when Yaakov said, V'yidgu larov, they should be fishy. What he was really saying is, just like a fish needs water, your children should drink the words of the Torah of godliness and spirituality as if it's water, as if they're thirsty, like they never had a drink before in their lives. What a beautiful idea. What a beautiful blessing. It's the blessing of being fruitful and multiplying, but in a spiritual way, in a meaningful way. But I think there's something else I want to add as well. Yaakov was blessing Yosef's children in Egypt. And when he said to them, you should be yidgu larov bekerev haaretz. They think about the imagery of a dag, of a fish, on land. In essence, there's a phrase in English that we say, should be like a fish out of water. So on the one hand, you want your children to succeed and to do well in life. But Yaakov didn't want Yosef's children, Ephraim and Menashe, to be so successful that they felt that ultimately their place was in Egypt and they wanted to stay there and become part of the broader society. And maybe perhaps Yaakov was also saying that as successful as you are and as bountiful and as multiplying and as wonderful as your life should be, in some ways I still want you, my children and my grandchildren in Egypt, to be like a fish out of water. Yidgu larov, you should be dagim, fish, on land. Because ultimately you should always know that your real place is in the land of Israel, in the land of my land, in the land of the forefathers. What a beautiful message for our children. They should always be successful. They should have the thirst for Torah. And they should always know that their true land, their true place, is in the land of Yaakov, of Yisrael. Have a Shabbat Shalom.